The loyalty paradox. When giving your all means setting boundaries. Have you ever poured your heart into something or someone only to realize they weren't pouring back? That moment when you're standing there, empty cup in hand, wondering why loyalty feels so one sided? It's like showing up to a potluck with a gourmet 3-course meal while everyone else brought paper plates. I recently had the privilege of interviewing Monica Whitehead, whose revolutionary work has transformed how countless women approach their relationships, careers, and self worth. Monica isn't just a thought leader, she's a paradigm shifter who has helped thousands of women, particularly Black women, recognize their inherent value beyond their capacity to give. Her insights have sparked movements, healed generational wounds, and empowered women to reclaim their narratives in spaces that consistently demand their loyalty without reciprocating it. Today, I'm sharing the wisdom from our conversation that might just change how you view loyalty forever. Let's be honest, we've all been there, standing in that uncomfortable space where our loyalty hangs in the air, unacknowledged. Maybe it was the job where you worked weekends for years without promotion, the friendship where you were always the emotional support, never the supported, the relationship where your compromises were met with, well, nothing. And yet we stay. We give more. We try harder. Why? Because loyalty is supposed to be a virtue, right? We were taught that good people stick around, that commitment matters, that loyalty defines character. Loyalty has such a lovely ring to it until it becomes the chain that binds you to situations that drain your spirit. But here's what Monica Whitehead helped me understand: loyalty without reciprocity isn't virtue, it's a transaction where only one person is paying. And eventually, that person goes bankrupt emotionally, spiritually, physically. Consider Monica Sepak, CEO of WISP, a women's healthcare startup. When she decided to transform women's sexual health conversations, she faced an industry that wasn't exactly, oh, enthusiastic. Imagine being the first company to put the word vagina on a Times Square billboard. The resistance was real. Partners hesitated, stakeholders squirmed, board members cleared their throats uncomfortably. We need to use clinical terminology, they said. Perhaps we could be more subtle, they suggested. Is this really necessary? They questioned. Every step of the way, Sapak's bold vision was met with tepid support at best, outright resistance at worst. The industry wanted the results, the market share, the customer loyalty, the innovation credit, but they weren't willing to embrace the authenticity required to get there. But Chepik remained loyal to her vision even when that loyalty wasn't immediately reciprocated. She understood something crucial. Her loyalty to destigmatizing women's health was valuable regardless of who matched it. But, and this is the important part, she set boundaries around that loyalty. She didn't compromise her mission to make others comfortable. She didn't shrink to accommodate skepticism. I'm not asking for permission to speak honestly about women's bodies, she declared in a board meeting that would later become company legend. I'm giving notice that we're going to change the conversation. The result? WISP expanded nationally, launched new product lines, and fundamentally changed how women's health is discussed. Her boundaries didn't diminish her loyalty, they directed it purposefully. This brings me to the first truth from my conversation with Monica Whitehead. Value your loyalty, but set healthy boundaries around it. Loyalty isn't measured by how much pain you're willing to endure. It's not about how long you can stay in spaces that drain you. True loyalty, the kind that honors both yourself and others, requires boundaries. Think about it like this: a river without banks isn't powerful, it's just a flood. Your loyalty needs direction to have impact. Now, when loyalty isn't reciprocated, something insidious happens. We start questioning our worth. We think, if I were enough, they would respond differently. If I mattered, they would match my effort. If I were valuable, they would see it. This brings me to Monica Paswani's story. As co founder of the Apprentice Project in India, she dedicated herself to empowering underprivileged students. But the established educational systems, they weren't exactly rolling out the red carpet. Time after time, her commitment was met with institutional indifference. Stakeholders questioned her vision for equitable education. The very system she was trying to improve resisted improvement. We've always done it this way, they said. These children don't need these skills, they claimed. Your approach is too radical, they warned. Each dismissal felt personal. Each roadblock seemed to whisper, your vision isn't valuable. Your commitment isn't warranted. But here's what's remarkable: Paswani never equated this lack of reciprocity with her worth. She understood that others' inability to match her commitment reflected their limitations, not her value. Their resistance isn't my responsibility, she told her team during a particularly challenging period. Our commitment to these children is what matters. She persisted. TAP eventually empowered over 70,000 children, dramatically increased life skills among students, and inspired systemic change in education. Paswani was even recognized as Woman Entrepreneur of the Year social sector, all because she refused to let unreciprocated loyalty define her worth. This leads to the second truth Monica Whitehead emphasized: your self worth is not defined by others' actions towards you. Let that sink in for a moment. Your value doesn't decrease because someone fails to see it. Your worth isn't diminished when your loyalty isn't matched. You are inherently valuable regardless of reciprocity. I know what you're thinking. That sounds great in theory, but how do I actually believe that when I'm feeling undervalued? It starts with recognition. Notice when you're giving more than you're receiving. Name it, not to keep score, but to stay aware. Then make a conscious choice. Either adjust your expectations, understanding that this person or situation may never match your loyalty, or adjust your investment to protect your well being. This isn't about becoming cold or calculating. It's about honoring yourself enough to direct your loyalty where it can flourish. Which brings us to Monica Garcia, founder of OG Juicers. Building her business in a competitive market, Garcia repeatedly found her loyalty to suppliers and partners wasn't reciprocated. Deliveries arrived late, promises were broken, support was inconsistent. At first, she did what many of us do. She worked harder, longer hours, more follow up calls, extra effort to compensate for others' shortcomings. I thought if I just showed them how committed I was, they would match my energy, Garcia reflected. I was exhausting myself trying to prove I deserved their reliability until she realized something had to change. Not her commitment to quality or her vision, but her approach to loyalty. Garcia shifted focus to building direct customer relationships and fostering community around her brand. She stopped pouring energy into unreliable partnerships and redirected it toward people who valued her work. The moment I stopped chasing reciprocity from the wrong places, I found it flowing naturally from the right ones, she said. The result? OG juicers grew steadily, gained a loyal customer base, and Garcia became recognized for her resilience. Her story inspired other Black women entrepreneurs to pursue their goals without compromising their self worth. This illustrates the third truth from Monica Whitehead's insights. Transformation is possible after disappointment. You can reclaim your narrative. Unreturned loyalty doesn't have to be your final chapter. It can be the plot twist that leads to something better. Now, I want to be clear about something. This isn't about abandoning loyalty altogether. Loyalty, when it's healthy and reciprocal, is beautiful. It builds trust, creates safety, fosters growth. But loyalty should be a choice you make from wholeness, not a desperate attempt to prove your worth. So, what does this look like in practice? First, examine your relationships, personal and professional. Where are you giving more than you're receiving? Not to keep score, but to become aware. Second, have honest conversations. Sometimes people don't realize the imbalance until it's named. I've noticed I'm often the one reaching out. I value our friendship and would love more reciprocity. Third, set clear boundaries. I can help with this project, but I'll need to leave by 6 p.m. I'm happy to listen, but I also need space to share what I'm going through. And finally, perhaps most importantly, be willing to redirect your loyalty when necessary. This doesn't mean cutting people off at the first disappointment. It means recognizing patterns of unreciprocated loyalty and making conscious choices about where you invest your energy. As Monica Whitehead so powerfully articulated, your loyalty is not a blank check for others to cash however they please. It's a precious resource that deserves to be honored by you first, then by others. Here's the revolution I'm inviting you to join today. Stop treating your loyalty as if it's unlimited and start treating it as the precious resource it is. Because when you value your own loyalty enough to direct it purposefully, you create space for relationships that truly deserve it. Imagine a world where we all stop pouring endlessly into empty vessels, where we recognize our worth wasn't tied to how much we could give without receiving, where we set boundaries not as walls, but as healthy definitions of what we need to thrive. That world begins with you, with your next decision to honor your loyalty by directing it wisely, with your courage to say, I matter too much to stay where I'm not valued. This isn't selfishness, it's self preservation. And beyond that, it's world changing. Because every time you refuse to let unreciprocated loyalty define you, you create a blueprint for someone else to do the same. So today I challenge you, identify one relationship where your loyalty isn't being reciprocated. Then make one concrete change, whether that's a conversation, a boundary, or a redirection of your energy. Not with bitterness, but with the calm confidence of someone who knows their worth. Your loyalty is a gift, not an obligation. And the most revolutionary act might just be remembering that you deserve to receive as generously as you give. Thank you.